Hi, Taurus. Welcome to your weekly love reading. I hope you're doing well. As always, take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, let's see what Spirit wants to reveal about your love life right now, Taurus. So we have the Five of Wands, the Six of Wands, the Lovers, the Sun, the Tower, Eight of Cups, Knight of Coins, the Star, the Chariot, and we have the Ten of Cups. A really positive card, about relationships, marriage, children, just kind of being together. Okay, so you have a few things going on here. You start off with this energy of the Five of Wands. So this card can sometimes be tricky because it can mean that there's something going on with your partner, especially in a love reading. This card is usually like competition, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have like somebody competing with you for your partner, unless other cards support it. And I don't see any cards like that in this reading, and unless you really feel that applies to you. This can mean, also that people are just not understanding each other. So I feel like for those of you who are in a relationship this week, you might find that you don't quite get what your partner is coming from, or they may not understand you. So if there's arguments that come up, or you feel like, maybe I made a mistake in being in this relationship, just understand that your first card is this energy of just like a struggle. And this could even be a struggle going on inside of one of you, like this inner struggle of, being conflicted. It could even be about something that has nothing to do with the relationship, but it's just like either arguments or just kind of like not connecting and not getting along. I do see that here. You have the Eight of Cups, which just this energy of like changing your mind and wanting to walk away because you don't feel connected to something or someone anymore. So for some of you, maybe not all of you, this will not apply to everyone. It could be that there's arguments that, just won't go away because they're trying to tell you something about the relationship. For some of you, for those of you, this is not the partner for you and you've been trying to hang in there. Well, if you feel like things are getting worse and worse, this is a sign for you to honor your emotions. If you're not happy in a relationship, it's for a reason. And this message is always to just walk away, even if it's difficult for you emotionally or for your partner. So the Eight of Cups is giving you the green light to look for happiness elsewhere because you are no longer happy. So I really felt like it tied in with this card because this is just kind of like conflicts and fighting and just like people like not even understanding each other anymore. Like I said, that will not apply to everyone, but it is in here. Now, the second card is the Six of Wands. So this is, a card of success. This is the victory card. So I feel, especially for those where, leaving is not an option. Leaving is not an option. I mean, these two cards are side by side, the Five of Wands and the Six of Wands. I feel like, for the majority of you, especially with the Ten of Cups as like, the theme of this reading, this card represents, like I said, happiness and family and children. There could be conflicts this week and, times where you're like, I don't understand my partner at all, or they don't understand me. You will overcome these obstacles because the Six of Wands means that as long as you're trying to succeed, you will. The Six of Wands is a hard-earned victory. So I feel like if you really hang in there, for those of you where, you have this like perfect relationship, because this energy here from the Ten of Cups, it really does feel like there's a sense of belonging. It looks cozy and it looks like they just kind of belong together. So I feel like there's this energy around a relationship where, especially with the Lovers here as well, I feel like even though this could be, your life partner, your twin flame, there could be something that comes up this week where you're just kind of bickering. But as long as you're patient and you're really trying to understand each other, I feel like you will overcome this. And then you have, the ultimate card for love. You have the Lovers, a major arcana. So this is telling you that, there's a significant relationship. And you do have, it's not just this card that you have. that is connected to relationships. I mean, you have the Lovers, you also have the Sun and the Ten of Cups, and even to some extent the Star. So I feel like for those of you who are single, they're telling you that there is a potential, significant relationship that could be there for you, a marriage or, a twin flame relationship. There's just love. There is this energy of love and commitment around you this week. But for those who are single, I feel like this really depends on your attitude, especially with something like the Five of Wands in the reading, because the Five of Wands can mean that there's a struggle going on inside of you, and that struggle for those who are single could be that you've become really pessimistic about your love life, or maybe you're feeling like you don't want to, look for love anymore because maybe you're tired of meeting the same kind of people, or you're bored with the whole thing. I feel like if you can overcome this energy, that there is a relationship waiting for you. And then we have the Sun. So the Sun, is the most positive card in the major arcana, and you have it in your reading. The Sun is telling you that, any challenges that you see here, any challenges, any arguments for those who are in a relationship, you will succeed. Again, you have the Victory card. The Sun is just, it's positive energy. It's positive. It is, positive outcomes. It also represents, marriage and children and stability and just kind of, good things coming in. And you have this next to the Tower. So I feel like, for some of you, there could be a completely like unexpected change in your love life. And that, the Tower does not have to be a negative card. Some people are scared of it because they feel like it represents disaster or something like that. But I mean, it's next to the Sun, and the Sun is positive and outshines anything else in this reading. So I feel like for some of you, what could happen that is totally unexpected could be that you suddenly get married or engaged. Or those of you who had been struggling with a relationship, I mean, I did mention the Eight of Cups. It could be that someone who was on the verge of separating or getting a divorce, it's just like, someone calls it off, and you decide to stay together. Well, the Sun, it just, it shines its light over everything going on in this reading. So I feel like there could be a very positive, unexpected surprise with the Tower. But I also get the message that, especially for those who are single, I mentioned getting pessimistic about your love life, that there's something positive that, that is going to change in your love life, but this Tower has to be torn down. And the Tower does represent sometimes, your old life kind of crumbling away in order for something new to begin. So you might see something, for those of you who are in a relationship that doesn't serve you, you might kind of see that relationship begins to fall apart so that you can find, the partner that you actually have a future with. Or it could be, if you're single, completely single, that your beliefs about your love life, about love in general, they have to change in order for you to receive this relationship that I see in the reading. And the Eight of Cups I did mention as far as like leaving a relationship, but for those of you where there is no partner, this card can also mean leaving the past behind you, especially emotional baggage. So they're telling you this reading that there's some type of relationship waiting for you, a very committed relationship, but it's like you have to wave goodbye to someone, and it could be someone that is not even in your life anymore. You have to leave old emotions, past emotions, leave them in the past. Say goodbye to those, negative thoughts that maybe you've been having about your love life or love in general. This is, a message to walk away and move on. Now, down here you have the Knight of Coins. So for some of you, this could be, someone who's an earth sign, and you are an earth sign. But it could also mean someone else who is an earth sign. But this card also represents, new people coming into your life. This is especially good for those who are single and hoping to meet someone. You have messages all over this reading telling you that there's the possibility for significant relationships. I mean, with a card like the Lovers in here and the Sun, that's not just a date, that can be marriage or your life partner. And the Knight of Coins is just telling you that, you know, there's an opportunity there for change, new people, but you have to kind of be out and about. That's the energy of the Knight of Coins. Change and movement leads to new experiences and new people. So for those who are in a relationship, I feel like this mostly means that this week you will be looking at, you know, your problems and working through them. The Knight of Coins does represent progress, making progress, but kind of in a slow way. This Knight moves slower than the other Knight, so I feel like you're moving in a positive direction for those of you who are in a really troubled relationship, but it could take time to really heal. Then you have the Star. So the Star is like the star of the show because it represents your hopes and wishes being granted. And this is pretty significant, especially in lined up with the Tower here. I feel like, you know, again, it's like your ultimate wish, whatever that is, whether it's like meeting the one if you're single. I see it all over this reading. Or if your wishes, you know, for a relationship to work out, you know, that looks like it's going to end. The unexpected could happen. The relationship is saved and you're able to stay together as a couple. The Star also represents guidance, so I feel like you will know what to do, you know, as far as how to heal a relationship or how to where you can meet a partner, what changes you have to make. The Star is guidance. Now the final card that came up for you is the Chariot. So now this is a major arcana, and this is all about big changes when it comes to your love life. So I feel like things will not be boring for you this week. There's an opportunity for you, for those who have been stuck in a rut, you'll finally see things move along. You might even be traveling. For those of you that maybe you have a partner that lives out of town, or it could be some that you meet someone who does not live in the same location as you and you travel to meet them. The Chariot just means like kind of movement, seeing changes and big movement in your love life. It also represents victory. So like I said, those who are struggling in a relationship where it looks like it could end, if you're really trying to make things work, I see that working out for you. Okay, so you have the Four of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, and the Sun. Wow, you got the Sun 2 times, and you have the Two of Wands. Okay, so I'm just kind of amazed that you have the Sun 2 times. So this is like, you know, this is the confirmation that you need. For those of you that you're dealing with a relationship that looks like it's going to end, or there's some type of like struggle that's going on that you feel like you can't overcome as a couple, the Sun is just, this is the ultimate card of positive energy and success and marriage and children and stability. So this is the confirmation that you need to know that you will be able to work this out. But you know, the first card that you have up here is a Four of Pentacles, and this is a card of, you know, of lack. We see the individual kind of up there in the tree, kind of holding on, trying to hold on to other pentacles and holding on to the tree at the same time. And it is a card of fear, holding on to material things. And this is a love reading. This could be that some of you, those who are in a relationship, you're tempted to hold on to what you have because you're afraid of letting go. I especially get that for, this applies to some of you who are maybe in a relationship that doesn't serve you. And like I said, this reading is spelling out that there is love waiting for you. But for those of you that are in a relationship where you know it does not serve you, they're saying don't be afraid to let go so that you can find the partner who deserves you. But this could also mean that you're giving someone space. And they're saying don't be afraid of losing this person. You also have the Wheel of Fortune, another major arcana. So the Wheel of Fortune is telling you that this can be a very lucky time for you. I mean, especially when you have the Sun 2 times and you have the Star, your hopes and wishes. I especially feel like this is a good omen for those who are hoping to maybe get back together with a partner, or you've been single for a long time. It just seems like it's like it's your lucky time. It's your time to be on top with the Wheel of Fortune. This card always represents change for the better. So for those of you where you feel like you've been kind of stuck in a rut or just been in a bad cycle in a relationship or in your love life in general, this can be a time where everything changes. And like I said, the sun is just telling you that there is a lot of, positive energy around your love life this week. And you have the Two of Wands. So to me, this card, it can represent two things. Either you're choosing between two things, and for some of you, it could be that you're choosing between two partners. For some in this reading, I did kind of feel that for some of you, you might be in a relationship that doesn't serve you. It could be that someone new comes in and that you're having to decide between two partners. But this card mostly means like a waiting period. It means a waiting period. So I feel like for some of you, especially with a card like, the Knight of Coins down here, like I said, this represents slow progress. I feel like you can begin to heal a relationship or make things better. I feel like some of you, you're waiting for good news, you're waiting for a positive outcome. But I said with two cards, the sun here 2 times, I feel like you will see that positive outcome. But for some, you may not see the entire story kind of play out this week. This could be something that, kind of rolls over. All right, Taurus, I will end the reading here. I hope you enjoyed it. Much love and bless.